Hi Aquarius, welcome to your June 2016 love reading. It's Rena here, so I'm just shuffling the cards, nothing fancy, and it's very hard for me to show myself shuffling. I'm trying to do that, especially since I have such a whatever you call it, impressive way of flipping the cards around. So I just like divide them and then I pick from different piles, you know, nothing real, let's say that. So I'm going to just do that. So whoa. You know, the card is like, okay, so I have a card that is probably not in range, or a lot of them. I'm just going to hold them up anyhow. Wow. So anyway, the card that represents the overall energy is the Tower card for June. So something that is very sudden, shocking. For Aquarius, this is not necessarily all that unsettling because, you know, you are ruled, at least in part, by Uranus, and that's a planet that has a lot of surprises up its sleeve, a lot of erratic tendencies, rebellious tendencies. But you're a fixed sign. You know, you're really quite the paradox, because there is a part of you as a fixed sign that doesn't like change. And yet you have the ability to be a change agent, and definitely not to be someone that other people can always pinpoint that you're going to do A, B, or C. So you keep people on your toes, on their toes. And so that is really interesting that this event occurs. I have said before that this can actually be a positive thing of love at first sight. And people describe love at first sight like a lightning bolt. So that could definitely be the case as well. Now, I think I've picked the Tower for 3 different signs so far, and I don't believe I've even done half the signs. So there's going to be a lot of electricity that is generated in June for some of you. For the recent past, I got the Death card. So it seems like you're in transition, that you have recently come out of another cycle, and perhaps in that cycle it was a long-term marriage, for instance, and something happened. Maybe you fell in love with somebody and that put an end to your marriage or long-term relationship. For those of you who are single, maybe you had a long period of time without a date. Maybe you had a drought and all of a sudden you're hot and heavy with somebody. The higher perspective in all of this is the Queen of Pentacles. So this is kind of an energy. Sometimes I call this the baby mama energy, or the single parent energy. The single mother, you know, queens represent mothers, pentacles represent the earth element and the things of the earth. And so I think of a mother who is taking care of her children by herself, who is earning the money, in other words, and that's, you know, connection with the pentacles. But it can be, and so perhaps this is what created the rift in the relationship. If it was an earth sign individual, so that would be either a Taurus or a Virgo or Capricorn individual, or it could be that this is who you are. Like you're seeing yourself in this elevated position of being this mother, a good mother who is putting her children first, or even just as the feminine principle. It doesn't have to be a literal mother, but that nurturing quality coupled with the groundedness that the pentacles symbolize. So it could be that you are kind of having your feet firmly planted on the ground, and you have decided to nurture yourself rather than kind of chase after love that is half-assed, not there, whatever. And so you're, I would say too that Pentacles is like your self-worth, in a lot of ways. So it's really about that. So whatever happened that is so dramatic with the Death and the Tower cards, both Major Arcana cards, I feel like you have a dignity about you, which I also associate with the Kings and Queens. This sense of like honoring yourself. And you may have had to go through the fire in order to do so, but you did it. So congratulations if that's the case. The influence that may be below the surface and may be kind of crossing you is the Nine of Swords. And I've been getting this card. I got that for another sign as well. Perhaps there's anxiety residing within you that you are not acknowledging, and that would not surprise me a bit, Aquarius, you're a sign that tries to stay in the mental realm. You try to intellectualize your feelings. You're not necessarily comfortable with emotions. And so everybody has these emotions, anxiety, and it's just a matter of whether or not you acknowledge it. And if you don't, it can still be within you just below the surface. And so this card can represent you kind of possibly needing to come to terms with that, and even making it conscious within yourself that you harbor anxieties. And that could be for a variety of reasons why you do. I think also, since your 12th house is Capricorn, and the 12th house is exactly what I associate with the Nine of Swords, which is kind of like these buried issues. We have Pluto in Capricorn, so your 12th house is getting a total makeover, so to speak. And it's a long-term transit. It's going to be until the mid-2020s that Pluto is in this house. So it's kind of like, Pluto to me is kind of like the tower energy, where it, sets things on fire and there's total destruction, and then like the phoenix from the ashes, something comes up that is much better. But in the process, it's a bit messy. And so anxieties of the vaguest variety that are maybe buried can possibly come up during this purging transit, because Pluto is all about regeneration and healing, but there's a purging aspect to it, a purification. And if you've ever done a detox, you know that you really feel like crap before you feel amazing. So the energy to harness, take advantage of, that's surrounding you is the Three of Pentacles. And this is the energy of the architect who is building something very viable, something very profitable. And basically, I think it's saying you have around you, swirling around you, the makings of a stable relationship. A relationship that can go the distance. Maybe it's somebody who is a friend to you, and maybe you're not having any kind of hot and heavy affair with this person. Maybe it's just platonic, but this might be somebody who is a viable, relationship material. Maybe you are in a marriage that is going through a few tough times, and your inclination is to kind of check out because, as an Aquarian, you do like your freedom. But maybe there's a part of you that wants to preserve it and knows that it has something of value still left within it. And it could be that you both had to maybe you had to deal with a death in the family. And that, when I think about that death card, a possible interpretation could be losing somebody very close to you, or your spouse or a committed partner losing somebody close to them. And instead of dealing head on with the grief, they had an affair, and then you found out about it. Something like that. And you realize that that person was hurting, and so you feel like you're going to forgive them, give them another chance. That's what this card represents, where you see that there is potential in it and that you're not going to just abandon it. The advice is the World card, which is the last card of the Major Arcana, number 21. Interestingly, 2 + 1 = 3, and I just had the Three of Pentacles. 3 represents creativity, abundance. The World card is about closure. So if there's something that you need to kind of work through, if something really intense happened, that may be something that needs to be done because it's the ending of a cycle. I said, about the Death card, that is also showing that there's transition. But the World card is a definite major ending period. But there is a sense of victory. There's a sense of you having really made it through. And whatever that means for you, you should also give yourself a pat on the back and acknowledge that you were able to do it. And even if it means that you got divorced, or if you decided to risk it and fall in love with somebody, and you were afraid to because of being hurt in the past, all of those things are showing signs of your expansion, that you are becoming more than you were before. And it's really exciting. And sometimes our biggest growth experiences are in the realm of love relationships. So definitely it seems that you have graduated in some way. The outcome is the Seven of Wands. Now this could relate to a fire sign individual maybe coming into your life, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. Fire is compatible with air, with Aquarius. You're on the same page in a lot of ways, so that would be apropos. The Seven of Wands is also about defending yourself. So maybe it's possible that you will have that sense of, as I said before with the Queen of Pentacles, the sense of dignity to make sure that in future relationships that you really come across from the very beginning as somebody who honors himself or herself and stands up for what you believe, and that you do not allow somebody else to walk all over you or to manipulate you, but that you let them know where you stand at all times so that you can have a relationship of equals. And that's a relationship of dignity. And so I've been, doing 3 readings today, and they were all very quiet and reflect. It's interesting. This is the third reading I've done in a row today for June, and they all seem like reflection is in order. And it could be because of those retrogrades that people are reviewing things. So definitely take into account what has happened to you and use it to advance. You know, the World card shows that you have done something that is worthy of being congratulated, that there's an achievement of sorts, and now it's time to move on to another cycle, and it'll be a better one as long as you're conscious about what you want to manifest. So I hope you enjoyed this, Aquarius. If you'd like a private reading, please click on the link below. Otherwise, have a wonderful June. Bye.